Are you a therapist that works with traumatized children, adopted children? You work with families who have children who've been diagnosed with reactive attachment disorder, oppositional defiant disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, conduct disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, Asperger's, autism, pervasive developmental disorder. Have you noticed that those children seem to have a long list of diagnoses that just continues, and that if you go back in their history and you read their assessments and their reports, the diagnosis all change, they usually flip-flop? Dorothy Otnow Lewis, she's the author of one of my favorite books. It's called Guilty by Reason of Insanity. She's a psychiatrist, or she used to be a psychiatrist at Bellevue. She says differential diagnosis to doctors means I'm not sure, but these are my hunches. Do you ever feel like that as a therapist? Like you get all these different diagnoses and you don't know what to do with them? Well, I've been a therapist for 15 years and I felt that way sometimes. Or I felt that way for a while until I just threw them out. I threw out the diagnosis. I threw out the disorders. You know why? Because, in my opinion, it's not about the diagnosis. It's not about the disorder. It's about what lies underneath the diagnosis and the disorder. And what lies underneath is a heart, is a brain, is a soul, is a spirit. And usually, when you've had all those labels attached to that heart, that brain, that soul, and that spirit, you have a very wounded, stressed out, scared child or adult. Now, I've spent a lot of time working with families. In fact, I've spent so much time working with families, I don't even work with them that often anymore, just because it requires so much energy, requires so much time. But I've done it long enough to develop enough of a reputation where people come and they seek me out for the things that I have to teach them about working with trauma. And it could be because I'm adopted myself. I had a lot of trauma in my life. And, you know, I've done reasonably well. I still have my own struggles, my own issues. But I have some insights about working with parents and insights about working with children that I think can make a real difference in your life as a therapist. Now, you're probably watching this because you're already a member of the Post-Inner Circle, so you know that, or not the Inner Circle, you could be a member of my Inner Circle, and you probably should be, postinnercircle.com, but if you're not, then you're probably a member of my network, the Post Network. And if you've read my books, Fear to Love, Great Behavior Breakdown, For All Things a Season, Beyond Consequences, you know I pretty much pioneered the whole regulatory therapy thing with kids and the stress model, and was probably the first therapist to ever say there are only two primary emotions, love and fear. Well, I am going to be doing a training camp, and it's probably one of the few that I'm going to do. I'm probably only going to do 2 this year, and I don't even know when the second one's going to be. But I've got one coming up in May. I've got therapists all the time emailing me, when are you going to do another therapist training? Well, it's going to be May 12th, 13th, and 14th, and here's why it's going to be significant. It's going to be tied into my parent camp. So on the 12th of May, 10 therapists, because I'm pretty much limiting this to 10 therapists, are going to come and they're going to spend one very intense day with me learning about attachment, learning about trauma, learning about stress, learning about the neurology of fear, learning about how to look within ourselves to create an authentic, dynamic relationship with the people that we're engaging, and also learning why that's so difficult. Now, this has nothing to do with cognitive behavioral therapy. I mean, I'm like, cognitive behavioral therapy, I'm so tired of that stuff. You know, consequences with children, behavior modification, medication. I'm so tired about that stuff. You got to move past that, all right? I'm going to help you move past that. I'm going to help you move past it in a very intense, emotional way. So on May 12th, you're going to come. We're going to work really intense. I'm going to open you up to some fears within yourself that you didn't know existed. I'm going to open you up to an understanding about the families and children that you work with that you didn't know existed. Even if you think you knew that it existed, I assure you I'm going to expose you to an emotional place within yourself that you don't get to touch very often. And the problem with not being able to touch it very often is that it's a place of power. There's a center of power within you. There's a center of love within you. And it holds so much energy. that can help you transform lives in short periods of time. But it's cut off, especially working in the mental health field, working in the cognitive behavioral model, and working in the psychiatric medication model. It gets shut off. We don't believe in relationship and mental health. And I want to help you understand why relationship is so important. In fact, it is the most important thing. I want to help you understand how love is the most healing, the most powerful healing force in the universe. I'm going to help you understand that. And I'm going to help you do it in a short period of time. Then I'm going to empower you and equip you to go back to your office and light the world on fire, to turn your community upside down with your new knowledge and your new passion. Even if you've been burnt out, I'm going to inspire you. I'm going to enlighten you with this new way of working with children and families. So May 12th, we're going to do that all day long. Then May 13th, you're going to actually get to spend time with parents. Parents who are in the trenches every day, giving it their best, who are they are the best of the best parents to work with. They're going to be traveling from all over the country to learn more about themselves and more about their child. And you're going to have an opportunity as a therapist to work with them right live, hand in hand, up close and personal. That's unheard of in most training events. And then on the 14th, we're going to spend another day together doing role plays with the parents again, and including yourself. See, I believe in getting real. And as therapists, I believe that we have to get real with ourselves. And you've been taught that crap about you got to separate the personal from the professional. You can't do that. That's impossible. You can't separate your physiology. You can't take the cells in your body and say, these are my personal cells and these are my professional cells. You got to get over that. You got to get over yourself. You got to get over all this negative conditioning that you've experienced, and you got to get real with yourself and with the people you work with. And when you do that, you're going to engage that power source within yourself that helps you to help other people overcome their fear and find more love in their lives. So I want to do that for you, and I want to do that with you. May 12th, 13th, and 14th in Raleigh, North Carolina. You go to postinstitute.com and you'll see all the information. You can click there. That's wrong. It's postinstitute.com. You can go and find out about the parent camp. But if you go to postinnercircle.com, this URL, why should I be trying to remember it? Because it's right here. Go right here, postinnercircle.com/therapist camp. That's going to give you all the information that you need on the camp, the training, what we're going to do day 1, day 2, day 3. It's going to be really intense. It's going to be one of the most intense trainings that you've probably ever attended. If you're one of those therapists that is really anxious and fearful and likes to hide behind the fact that you're a therapist and all your credentials, it's probably not the best camp for you. I'm interested in peeling away all that stuff. Like I want to really help you get to your authentic self, to your powerful self, to your loving self, to your healing self. See, I see that in you, and I know that that's possible. So if you want to learn about working with attachment disorder children in a way that you've never done before, if you want to learn about working with parents at a level that you've never worked with them before, if you want to learn about getting away from behavior modification and consequences and all that other stuff that doesn't work, if you want to learn about how to be powerful enough as a therapist and teach families enough about understanding and mindfulness and about love so they don't have to rely on psychiatric medications anymore, then I want you to come see me in Raleigh, North Carolina, May 13th, 14th, and 15th. Go to this website, postinnercircle.com/therapist camp, and I'll see you soon. And we're going to be doing something really intense and really exciting and really inspiring, and I'm already excited. See you soon.